Welcome to Tala Talks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. Thank you so much for choosing to spend the next few minutes with me. I am so stoked that you're here. I wanted to share with you, especially with my culture here in the Philippines, is when everyone is chasing milestones, your girl is particularly choosing to chase being aligned. So I can't wait. I feel such a strong pull to share this with you. And let's dive in. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for deciding to click this. You could have been watching any other video on YouTube, but you decided to check this out. And so that is no coincidence. That is absolutely divine intervention. And a little background about your girl. I'm almost 40, no ring. I've never been proposed to for marriage. I've always had long-term boyfriends, but none of them proposed. I don't know what kind of juju I'm carrying. I also don't have any kids. And so while some people who are in my shoes might think that they are being left behind, especially in a society here in the Philippines that is so traditional, you fall in love, you get married, then you have kids. They kind of, some people might feel left behind. But in my case, I am just completely choosing a different path. I am embracing my timeline, and I think it's gonna be something nice for me to be able to share with you in case you're interested or if you're going through the same situation as I am. I think it's really important to declare to the universe, to yourself, and to all the bodies of energy out there that in whatever situation you're in, it may not be what you're asking for or what you're looking for, but it's so important to embrace whatever you have right now. This chapter is not the final one, and while you are perhaps working towards a goal or a certain future that you had in mind or whatever perception of what you feel is a perfect kind of lifestyle, it really is important to be happy at this present moment because everything is energy and energy is everything. And if you aren't living in alignment of where you want to be, you're basically going to be attracting whatever your emotions are, your thoughts. And if you're hoping and wishing and still praying for that thing to happen, whatever it is, it's all right to do that, of course, but you're coming from a place of wanting, and wanting is coming from a place of lack. And in my case, I think while everyone is celebrating milestones, which is, yeah, maybe a new job, having kids, and being married, I don't have any of those. And I believe me, it's taken me 2 years at least. I would say almost 4 years to kind of get over this hump. I've been in a lot of self pity. Uh, and when you kind of have a lot of self doubt and when you compare yourself to other people, you're not going to be living to your utmost performance or your utmost potential. And I just want to get the word out there that you're totally loved, and so am I. And I think to show ourselves some self compassion and to just embrace where we are is super, super important. And I would rather be in alignment than make mistakes, marry the wrong person, have kids when I'm perhaps not ready to be a parent, and maybe get a job when I might not even be happy at it. I might be terrible. So I super believe in divine timing and divine alignment. I don't know if that sounds cringe. I feel like it is so woo woo and perhaps annoying to some people, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. I just want to share with you about cultural conditioning. And your girl was born in the Philippines. I was raised here. I grew up here. And if you're wondering why my English sounds, I don't know, I've been getting comments on some videos that my English sounds American. I gotta say, the American influence here in the Philippines is so strong, and I'm not the only one. I guess when you start to get involved more with the Philippine culture, you will really see that a lot of people who speak here kind of sound like me, or If they don't, their English is good, and if not, they're just probably shy to speak it. They say nosebleed all the time because they're nahihiya, or hiya means shy. But I would say 99.9% of Filipinos understand English, and that is the main reason why a lot of people want to retire in the Philippines. It's number one, it's paradise, it's beautiful here, and everybody understands English, so you really minimize all that language barrier. In the Philippines, and I'm pretty sure in other countries as well, the life script is like you go to school, you graduate, find a job, maybe get married and then have kids, buy a house, and then you end up retiring. And for sure, it looks like my life path is absolutely not gonna be like that. And I just wanna let you know that if you are worried that you're going through all these things and you would like to live a traditional life, or you don't want to live a traditional life, or maybe it's not even wanting or not wanting, it's just kind of what's given to you, it's a calling that you have to just leave the city and maybe have a slower life like I've decided on, I say do it. I say take the leap and just go and follow what your gut instincts are telling you, because I guess our lives aren't meant to follow the usual traditional script, which is, everything I said: go to school, graduate, find a job, have a house, all of those things, and then retire eventually. I remember getting a comment on one of my videos saying that I'm practically living the life of a retiree. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, but to be honest, I'm really happy. There isn't any pressure to please anybody, or there isn't any pressure to earn so much money, because having a slow kind of life, slow living as they call it, or living in the probinsya and the countryside, we value so much more. What we value more is about, it's more in community, it's about togetherness, it's about relationships, and it isn't about how much you're making and what you do. It's the contrast between living a slow-paced life versus the city is just so different. Like the values that we have there is, and I have to say that I find to be sitting in a chair of gratitude, because I'm able to compare these two. If I wasn't born and raised in the city, I really wouldn't know the difference between living in the countryside versus living in the city. And when you have experiences in both of those sides, you get to appreciate both, because one has what the other one doesn't have. I wanted to share with you about inner wisdom and having trust in yourself. I think it's so important to have this ability. And if I'm being completely open and vulnerable right now, I had so much self-doubt and so much self-pity in the very beginning. Well, okay, the timeline is, of course, after leaving the corporate world. I was so excited, like, wow, there's a world out there to explore. I decided to go diving in the Visayas, and obviously Mindanao is such a beautiful place to visit as well. And then, going through the puppy stage and the romance stage, I would say after about 2 years, I started to realize reality really started to hit me, where, okay, I used to be super financial stable and I had a routine, and now it's really all up to me to create that. And it can be very daunting sometimes when you have so much space and so much time that if you aren't focused, you can really get lost in the abyss. And yeah, I admit I made a lot of mistakes. Like I used to drink it out, I used to sleep late, I wasn't taking care of myself, and eventually I hit a wall. And then I started doing the complete opposite, giving myself love back again. And when you are able to be balanced in all aspects, exercise, eat well, sleep well, spend time with community, with people you love, you make sure you take care of your family. When you are very well-rounded in all of those aspects, then you start to really dig deep, and you get to know yourself, and your priorities really do align. When your priorities are aligned, you kind of tend to trust yourself a lot more, because you have this inner knowing, you have this gut instinct that just tells you what you should be doing, what's right for you, and what isn't. And I wanted to talk about legacy and building a life that actually feeds you. But when I say feed, it doesn't necessarily mean food. What I meant here is sustainability. And if you're going through the hustle grind of the day-to-day 9 to 5 kind of work, and let's say you aren't happy, I don't know how long you're gonna last. And kudos to all of those people who have made it till the end, and they're retired. But I've read also my comments where a lot of people have retired so late in life that they aren't able to enjoy the things they would have and could have had they had their physical body at a younger age. And it's a very interesting insight because, again, it's kind of what society and what culture teaches you. Gotta work a lot, save a lot, and then retire. But what if you actually found a way to, let's say, earn enough and then really enjoy the process of just existing, the process of looking out the window, enjoying your cup of coffee for an hour. Well, it's not really good to drink coffee too late because it turns very acidic, but let's just say your tea, or enjoy a nice conversation out with a stranger or a friend or a loved one, and just be in the moment of absolutely existence. And we don't always have to keep the economy running just because society tells us to, earn money, spend it, earn and spend. Sometimes, and again, you may not agree. I would love to hear your thoughts. I mean, always share in the comment box. I know that not everybody agrees with me, but I think if you're able to afford the basic necessities, anything after that is an absolute luxury. Like the camera that I have right now to record this, the Wi-Fi, all of that is luxury. But having a roof over my head and food and clothing, to me, like, I'm so grateful for that already. Extremely grateful. Many people don't have those basic necessities, so I super recognize that. And I also wanted to say that if you aren't happy where you are right now, what's the point? Like, you might as well do something that you're happy with so that it's more sustainable. It feeds you, it inspires you, it motivates you. And there's this quote I remember saying, you should be creating more than consuming. And that's kind of like our purpose in life, is to create. And when I say create, it could be anything. You could be playing sports, you could be creating a vase, you could be painting, singing, I don't know, dancing, just being that constant motion of movement, and making beautiful things. And when you're consuming stuff on your phone all the time, or consuming stuff on Netflix, or what else do you consume, like too much food maybe, or maybe even consuming your own thoughts, like rumination, that there's definitely not a balance there. So it's a nice reminder. Definitely, I'm sharing this with you, but I feel like it really is a reminder for myself. Just a quick break to let you know how grateful I am that you've chosen to spend your time with me on this channel. If you've been with me from the very beginning of this channel, I just really want to let you know how much I appreciate you and your time. Without you on this channel, without the watch hours, this channel wouldn't exist. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. With that, I'd love to invite you to join my membership by clicking on the QR code on the screen. It'll link you to my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you'll see photos of the plans. I'd love to create an edible jungle where we can feed the locals, we can feed tourists, we can just create a more sustainable lifestyle for everybody. That's where your support is gonna go to. You can also choose to join the membership right here on YouTube for your convenience. And with that, you'll get a lot of perks, such as behind the scenes from yours truly. Once you've joined my membership, please don't forget to send me an email or message me directly on Instagram. And I'd love to show you where your support will go. With that said, again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for choosing to stick around with me in this channel. I love you so much. Let's go back to this video. And on that final note, I just wanted to say, while it's very impressive, obviously, to have a title, say CEO, or you're the director of this company, or, you have your own business, that is absolutely impressive for sure. I struggled with this at some point where I used to have those titles, and now I love creating content. I love being able to reach out to you, and I love taking photos and videos for companies and brands that I believe in. And while that doesn't sound as impressive as owning your own company, again, this is a lot of shadow work and introspection that I had to do. I feel a lot more aligned now. So it's feeling more aligned, knowing that I'm growing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and I mean, hopefully physically, but in the right sense, rather than having to impress. So it's definitely alignment over impressing, or alignment over hustle. And I always say progress over perfection as well. And on that note, I would absolutely love to invite you to my Buy Me a Coffee page. If you want to treat your girl to some delicious coffee, I would really appreciate that. If I haven't been flashing QR codes on the screen, which is very easy to scan with your phone, the clickable link is on the description box below. Feel free to click away and see if you'd be interested to join the membership. I know it's so shameless to say this, but making YouTube videos at this point is my only bread and butter. And yeah, I'm just gonna shamelessly put it out there. So if you want to connect in a much deeper sense, I feel very grateful to have members whom I am able to open up about things that I don't feel very comfortable in public. And the reason for that is I know that every person who joins, they're doing it intentionally, and that they've chosen to really be there out of mutual love and respect and wanting to connect deeper. And so, in any way I can answer any questions, and if you want to reach out personally, that's absolutely possible through the membership. But again, I am so grateful for this platform. You're able to see this. Anyone who has Wi-Fi and access to the channel can view any of my videos. So thank you so much with all my heart. I appreciate your time with me. I send you infinite love. Sending you amazing and tropical happy vibes from the Philippines. Bye for now, and I hope you'll join me again on my upcoming video.